Hey peeps! Oh my God. So, 2021. Like, I thought 2020 was like an amazing year. I mean, I'm like, even though we had the pandemic and we had to wear masks and people were scared and we did a lot. We came out with my skincare line. We started the process of me writing my 4th book. And now here we are in 2021. So I mean, like, I think 2020 turned out pretty damn good. Like, seriously, I mean, you know, people are like, how can you say that? So many people lost their lives. And I'm like, you know, I look at all the years that I've lost people in my life. You know, whether it was my little brother when he was 23. You know, I can remember just the feeling of, how can the rest of the world be so happy? Don't y'all know I lost my brother? Like, I was devastated. And I just couldn't figure out how the whole world seemed to just carry on. And I was just so devastated. Like, why isn't the rest of the world upset? Why isn't the rest of the world grieving with me? Why isn't the rest of the world feeling this sense of loss like I'm feeling? And it literally made me mad. And then after thinking about it, I thought, well, how do they all know I lost my brother? You know, like, life goes on. Whether we want it to or not, life goes on. And so I had to step back and think, just because I lost my brother, the world didn't stop. The world just didn't come to a screeching halt and say, oh my God, Theresa, we're so sorry that you lost your brother. And for a while, I was really mad about that, because I was like, I don't know how y'all can walk around and be so happy and just have life be so normal when I'm grieving so hard. And so through this process of writing this 4th book of mine, it's called From Milking Cows to Millionaire, I've had to relive my life, because it's an autobiography of my life. And the emotion that has been stirred back up and brought to the surface again, it's almost like living through that pain again. And you don't realize that. I mean, like, sometimes when you go to counseling, you know, counselors will make you relive that part of your life, and it's very painful and hurtful again. But they need to help you bring whatever that is that's making you grieve or making you not be able to live life your fullest. They need to bring that to the surface again, to make you experience that pain again, to make you live through that pain again, to help you get past that pain. Because what happens, guys, and I've lost 4 very, very important people in my life. I've lost my little brother, who at the time was 23 and I was 28, 29. My son, my 19-year-old son, my stepdad, my real dad that brought me into this world, my stepdad that raised me most of my life. So I've experienced 4 different deaths in my life. You know, grandparents, yes. You know, you expect your grandparents to pass away because they live a full life and they're ready to go. I mean, you know, once they get into their 80s and 90s, they're like, I've lived a good life. What more do I want? But I've experienced 4 traumatic deaths, along with friends' kids. I mean, you know, I've experienced death and grieving and all of that. And so it's just like, but it's like, I did not realize by writing this book that it was going to have an impact on me again. Like, it's like living it all again. Like, I'm sitting here reading it and I'm like tearing up again, you know? I'm tearing up as I write it, I'm tearing up as I reread it. It's just, which brings me back to this whole pandemic thing and people losing loved ones and whatnot. You know, nobody wanted to lose a loved one during the pandemic, and it's devastating that anybody lose anybody. but it just makes me, you know, and some people watching this will be like, oh, you just are heartless, Theresa. You don't care that hundreds of thousands of people died from the pandemic. Yeah, I do care. I care a lot. But I'm also here to tell you that whether you lose someone in a pandemic, whether you lose someone from a massive heart attack, a car crash, whatever, grief is grief. A loss is a loss. It's devastating, even if it doesn't have the word pandemic hooked to it. Fab, you just lost a relative. Mm-hmm.
This past weekend, yeah.
Wasn't COVID.
No, not COVID related. But still had to follow the COVID guidelines in the hospital.
Right.
Which, you know, hurts people.
Because you don't get to be with them.
Nope.
You know, when
you have to say goodbye through a
glass
screen.
A glass or plastic screen. So guys, as you know, today is International Women's Day, so we'd like to take this opportunity to wish everyone out there happy International Women's Day. This is to all the busy businesswomen like me. And in a way to celebrate it, we are having a special sale here at TR Beauty. The first 15 people to place an order for a bundle on my website will get a free autographed Naked in 30 Days book, as well as a candle of your choice. You heard it here. So, but anyways, I wanted to get on here and just talk to you about, I'm actually having a lot of fun doing this new book. Like I said, it's an autobiography. It's called From Milking Cows to Millionaire. Still haven't figured out my cover photo yet. That's gonna be fun. But it's just interesting when you go back and relive your life as you're writing this book, how it can stir up memories and thoughts and sadness. And it's really interesting. I never realized how much I used work to be able to get through grief. And some people are like, what do you mean you used work? Like I can remember, let's take when I lost my son. I literally buried him on a Thursday, came back to Texas on a Sunday. Maybe I buried him on Friday. I don't know, but Thursday, Friday. Came back to Texas on Sunday and was at work on Monday. And people were looking at me like, why are you here, Theresa? And I'm like, I don't know. Where am I supposed to be? If I sit at home, all I'm doing is crying. So I figure I might as well come to work and keep my mind occupied, you know? And so it made me start to realize that every single time I endured something really stressful or sad in my life, I would turn to work to try to get through it. I can remember when my son passed away, they were like, oh, you need to have medications to get through this. And I was like, no, I need to hit this head on and deal with the pain now, because I don't want to be on drugs for 10 years or whatever, and then someday get off the drugs and then have to still deal with the pain. You know, it was like, and so, but it was really funny. By writing this book, I've learned to realize that no matter what grief or sad or hard thing I've had to go through in my life, I always turned to working out and work. Working out to take my frustrations out, but work to keep my mind busy. Because y'all know, the more you sit by yourself and have time to think, the sadder you get. It's just a given, right? Right, Fab?
You're playing it over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. And all you do is play it over in your head and cry more, and play it over in your head and cry more. And yet, by going back to work, I was able to try to be around people, and I would be in front of some of my employees and just bust out bawling and have to leave the room out of nowhere. But then I would go and get it out and come back and be able to get on with the day, you know. But you know, I've learned through writing this book that I've figured out, because I've always known myself as a workaholic. And now I look back and wonder, why are you such a workaholic, Theresa? And it goes back to still being little kid and enduring verbal and mental and physical abuse. And my way of dealing with that was just to stay busy all the time so I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to think about the pain. I didn't have to think about how sad I was. Because if I stayed busy, I was happy. But if I didn't stay busy, all I could think about was what I was going through and how sad it made me. And so I don't want this whole video to be anything negative or Debbie Downer or any of that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to say, guys, that I've always been someone that's been able to take whatever I'm going through in my life, and instead of becoming a victim of what I'm going through, I become a victor. And I think that's where my hard work and being a workaholic comes into play, is I dive head first and work even harder when I'm enduring sadness and grief and pain. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, you know, some people are like, oh God. And when you read this book, Fab, you've already read like 4 chapters, right?
You guys,
you
think you know her through the channel, but you don't even know her.
Wait till you get your hands on this book.
I'm on chapter 10. Fab comes in.
You will be in the book, Fab. You're like, woo.
Things just got more fabulous. Chapter 10.
Oh, but no. So you know, part of this video is just trying to explain to you guys that we all go through shit. We all have things happen to us. But no matter what, and no matter, you know, whether you've been abused as a child or molested as a child or abused in a marriage or in a relationship, or people around you that you love die. I mean, like, it just doesn't matter what you go through. Life is not fun sometimes. Life is full of lessons. And every time we have to go through something really hard in our life, it's meant to be a lesson. Are you going to curl up and crawl in a corner and lay there and feel sorry for yourself? Because guess what? I had to learn the hard way when my brother died. The world still goes on. The world just doesn't go, oh, Theresa just lost her brother. The world needs to stop right now. Stop. It doesn't happen that way. You want it to. God knows your heart wants it to, but it doesn't happen that way. You look out the window and life is still happening. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And that's what I used to think. Why don't y'all care? How can you not care? The world doesn't know. Because guess what? Each and every person out there is going through something. Somebody just lost their dog. Somebody just lost their grandma. Right? Mm-hmm. Somebody just lost their dad. Somebody just lost their mom. Somebody just went through a divorce. Somebody just got beat up. Somebody got in a car crash. I mean, like, every single person in this world is going through something. That's why the world doesn't stop. Nobody's going to just pull the plug on the world and say, stop, let's have a pity party for Theresa.
Right. If we did, we'd be stopping for every single one.
We'd be stopping every second. And the world would never move forward, because there's sadness that happens 24/7 in this world. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, guys, is I try to say it in all my videos all the time. Don't become a victim. We all have things happen to us. We all have sadnesses. We all have grieving moments. We all have hurt. But you too can rise above it. You have to be strong. When people say, where'd you get your strength? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was just, I was born with it maybe. I don't know. But I've just known every single time something bad has happened in my life, I just have to rise above it and say, this too shall pass. There's a lesson to be learned. I may not know what the lesson is now. Maybe it'll take me going up there to find out. I don't know. But it's not going to do me any good to sit down and have a pity party. That's precious time I'm losing. I'm never going to get it back. I have to just keep moving forward, praying to God, meditating, giving my thanks for what I do have and where I'm at, and that I'm going to continue to move forward to the best of my ability. So I hope you guys got the message today, but I just kind of wanted to share with you how I was feeling right now. writing this book. It's just another amazing thing that's going to happen. Hopefully we'll be debuting it in the fall. But it's kind of exciting, but kind of weird to be writing my life in this book. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. But a lot of emotions coming back to the top, making me like relive some of that pain, but it's all good. And sometimes people ask me why I talk about some of the pain that I've endured. And to me, guys, it's therapy. Because I'd rather share it with you and let you know that I've been through hell and back many times in my life, that I just don't sit up here and like everything's roses and cheesecake and sunshine. Like it's just not that. Bab's like, oh,
where's the cheesecake?
But we all have things going on in our lives. You're not alone, guys. You're not alone. So I hope you understand the message in today's video. Like I said, it's not meant to be a Debbie Downer or anything sad. It's just, I just had to kind of talk to you guys about the feelings that I've been feeling writing this book. It's kind of fun, but it's always fun to share my life with you guys, because it lets you guys see a side of me that you don't normally see on a daily basis when we're goofing around and shopping and having fun and whatnot. You know, I too have been through hell and back quite a few times in my life, but I've never let it stop me or stand in my way of my happiness. So guys, with that said, hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell, get out there and find me everywhere on social media, and until next time, bye-bye.